It's fascinating, Sheila. Blackface really takes the cake, doesn't he? I mean, he
This
comes
guy,
out of
the golf.
he's got trouble on the marital home front, and I'm not gonna kick a guy like him when he's down, but I'm not going to avoid reporting it because he is a public figure. But nevertheless, Sheila, he makes this passion plea for privacy during this harsh time. It's a family matter, and then he finds out, I presume, that after that massive cabinet shuffle and more polling comes out showing that the Pierre Poilievre Conservatives have a double-digit increase in terms of the popular vote, 10%, that obviously the cabinet shuffle didn't work. It didn't bear any fruit. It's the status quo. So what does Blackface do? Oh, I think I'll go back to the family and use my son and my daughter as props. And even there, Sheila, and I'm going to give credit where it's due, and it's to you, She-Devil, you notice that he brings his son to the Barbie movie, saying that we're on Team Barbie, and they're dressed in pink, of course. And he brings his daughter, Ella, to Oppenheimer the next day. And by the way, nothing wrong with that. But I know what the unspoken strategy is, as did you, Sheila. This is, get people to change the channel, the fact that I'm still lagging in the polls. And B, I'm going to do my, my whole gender diversity palava with my kids, namely bring a boy to a movie that ostensibly appeals to a female audience, I should think, and bring my daughter to a movie that is really macho. In fact, we're talking Second World War. Isn't this the same prime minister, Sheila, who's always bemoaning toxic masculinity? And I got to tell you, folks, thank God we had toxic masculinity back in the Second World War, the First World War, the Korean conflict, Afghanistan. Yeah. Otherwise, we're probably all wearing pink watching the Barbie movie, and the national flag of Canada is the one that you see flying in Beijing. Not that the Prime Minister would have any problem with that. Sheila, it's amazing, how tone deaf he is, and the idea that he would so readily use his kids as political props mere days after saying, please, privacy, our family's going through a tough time. I can barely believe my eyes, Sheila.
Can you barely believe your eyes that Justin Trudeau would use his kids as political props? He's been taking those kids to pride parades since they were born, to show off what a progressive dad he is, right? Yeah, I mean, it's so shameless. Like, we're all supposed to be surprised that girls like sciences. I thought that ship sailed like 30 years ago, that we were like, yeah, sometimes girls are more often than not, girls are good at the humanities, but sometimes girls are interested in the sciences. Who cares? Apparently Justin Trudeau does. And like, I don't know how long ago we decided, yeah, if boys want to play with dolls, who cares? Like, literally, who cares? Well, Justin Trudeau does. He obviously, the unspoken thing that he doesn't realize he's saying, because he's a total idiot, is that there is a gender binary. Yep. And there is gender norms. That's the only reason to tweet about how your kids have deviated from them. Look how cool and progressive my kids are. They've deviated from the gender norms. That's an acknowledgement that the gender norms are by and large existent and normal, as the title of what it's called indicates. But as
Sheila,
I was talking,
if I can interject right there, should we be talking in terms of gender norms in the past tense or the present tense? Because, and we've talked about this before, unfortunately, with the woke social engineers out there, I'll give the example of my beloved Lady Menzoid. When she was a little girl, she pulled the heads off dolls, hated dolls, loved boys' toys, hung around with the boys.
I got a STEM girl in my house.
Yeah, climbed trees. She was the very definition of that which was known, I don't know if they use this term anymore, a tomboy. My
Same.
fear is that, well, those girls and young ladies today that exhibit those traits, the social engineers are on the phone to a hospital saying, you know what? We think we have a man trapped in a female's body. What's the schedule for puberty blockers? What is the schedule for genitalia reconstruction? And I'm not making a joke, Sheila. They hop on anything that supports the whole radical transgender movement. I actually feel terrified for those young girls in Canada and other Western nations that are tomboys. I think they're being eyed up and down by the progressives as we got to do gender reassignment surgery. This is dreadful.
It absolutely is. But again, it acknowledges the gender binary, right? The people who are pro giving kids cross-sex hormones and surgery to deal with gender and body dysmorphia, those are the people who are enforcing the gender binary. Because once you stray from, the things that girls normally like, they say, oh, actually, then maybe you must be a boy. Instead of just you're a girl that likes those things. And these, your interests as a female do not always have to lie within this little cluster of what society says is acceptable. I was one of those tomboys. I think I remain one of those tomboys. I like shooting. I like quadding. I like being outdoors, and I have a keen interest in politics and nutrition and all those things that were like, I like to eat mostly meat. Like I don't even eat a regular, like the female low fat diet. Like I don't like those sorts of things. I don't wear a lot of pink, and I think I'm fine. I have 3 girls, or I have 2 girls and a boy, and I have, I think I'm just a normal woman. I have a daughter who plays a contact sport. She is in advanced placement, all the STEM stuff. But she's as cute as a button, and she can be more feminine in other aspects. It's so strange that these people are just so dead set on, like I said, they're enforcing the gender binary. They don't even realize they're doing it. The thing that they say doesn't exist, and it's a thing that they use to oppress us. They're the hardest enforcers of it.
No, 100%. So, and what you're saying to the folks there, if they're going to give you a gift card, Sheila Gunn Reid, you would prefer one for, Bass Pro Shops as opposed to Victoria's Secret. Not that 100%. I know that for sure, mind you.
No, the farm supply store, the PV Mart. That's the one that my kids always get me, because I know I can go there and I can get chicken feed, I can get gardening supplies, homesteading stuff, plus the clothes I wear. they're all the farm supply store.
Getting back to Blackface, though, I'm absolutely fascinated in this, and maybe it's too inside baseball, but I think our audience would like to know too. That's my hunch. These photo ops, as much as they appear random, they're actually very carefully orchestrated. I am almost certain that would have been the Prime Minister's official photographer in the theater. And what I want to know, too, is, was the theater closed down for that particular performance? There was no members of the greasy public there to get in the way. And, God forbid somebody walks by with an F. Trudeau shirt. And thirdly, Sheila, did they take public transit there? Although I understand the Ottawa LRT line is about as reliable as the Leafs winning the Stanley Cup. Or did they take the 8 SUV fossil fuel entourage? I really want to know that, because he's passing this off as father and son, father and daughter going to the movie. Oh, just posing for a quick little selfie. Oh, no. There was a whole Hollywood writer's strike of personnel behind this, orchestrating it. That's what I think. What do you think?
Oh, David, there's only one way to know. And it's my favorite, most boring thing to do. And that is to file for access to information. I want the RCMP records. I want the PCO documents. I want the PMO emails planning this. I want to see Adam Scotty's invoice for the photos that he took, Adam Scotty being Justin Trudeau's personal photographer. This is not just some random photo. It's completely staged. But something else about this struck me. And I know we've dwelled on this a little bit too long, or dwelt. I don't know what the right word is. Depends, I think, whether or not you're using the American or the British English. But Last week I did a story about Justin Trudeau's nanny, right? And she was on the flight home from London earlier this year to the King's coronation without Sophie nor the children. So she was nannying on a plane where there were no children to nanny. And I look at this and I'm like, what the heck? Justin Trudeau's kids, one of them is at least old enough to be driving to the movies. The oldest one, I think he's 16 or turning 16. He was born in 2007, I think. And then the daughter is 14 and the little one is 9. Little. Like the 2 older kids are old enough to look after the little one. Okay, why do we have a nanny at all? We've got 2 teenagers and a 9-year-old. What is Sophie up to that you can't take care of a 9-year-old? And we also are carting around Margaret Trudeau, many names. She keeps reverting back to Trudeau because that's the one that pays the bills. She also travels to help with the kids, but these are like teenagers. And the other one is 9. He's not an infant. He's pretty self-sufficient. He could probably use the microwave. Like, honestly. So why are we paying a nanny to deal with 2 teenagers and a kid that's apparently in middle school? Like he's grade 5, I guess. Like, what are we doing here? Why are we paying for Sarah Clark, the nanny? If they think they need a nanny, they should do what Stephen Harper did and pay for it out of pocket.
Oh, listen to yourself, Sheila. Blackface not taking advantage of the taxpayer teat, no chance. And by the way, you raise a good point. The 9-year-old, what movie is Blackface going to take him to? That's what I want to know. We've covered up
I bet it'll be the woke Snow White.
Right. Or if the Flash movie, which bombed, is still playing, you can take him there.
That's a clip from something we call Rebel News Daily. It's our daily live stream hosted by my friend David Menzies, but the show also includes a rotating cast of hosts and special guests, including me. It's a great way for us to talk about the news of the day as the news is happening in an unscripted fashion, and it's an awesome way for you to interact with us as well. We stream every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Mountain, wherever you find Rebel News. See you there.